Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 25 with the Detroit Tigers. In our previous episode, we had another outstanding season that once again fell short of the postseason. Um, I'm very proud of how we performed with the Tigers. We took a team that was pretty terrible, and we've made it into one of the better teams in the league. Well, we haven't made the postseason with the Tigers yet. Um, we're not far. We're not far from that happening. A mere 2 games out of first place last year. Um, good stuff is happening all the time, so you just need to keep up the good work. Let's start with our traditional visit to the free agent market, and there's nobody interesting here. Not that I expected that there would be, but nonetheless, there isn't anybody terribly thrilling. Um, hmm. Well, what do we need? If we look at our roster, what do we need to really be a next level team? We've got a pretty okay rotation. It may not be the best possible rotation, but it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. We've got some decent high level outfield prospects in the minor leagues. Although outfield is one area that we're fairly strong in. Um, Ed Kirkpatrick returning as an outfielder would be pretty helpful to this club right now. Or even Mike Lum. So this is going to be an important offseason to see which of them develops quicker. Um, so definitely. Oh, we need a center fielder. Wait, no, we don't. Albie Pearson is a perfectly fine center fielder. Put him back in center, you fuckers. There we go. But I do need more outfielders. Oh, Gene Oliver's in flagged as a first baseman for some reason. Okay, maybe I don't need outfielders. Let me set you to left field. We do have the whole Tony Horton, Ken Harrelson, Jack Hyatt mess to sort out. Although Jack Hyatt is also capable of being a catcher, so yeah. Where are we struggling the most right now? Honestly, we're not really struggling in any single area in a real sense. We've got a pretty solid team. Adding Pete Ward was a huge get. That's really solidified our offense, and I think we're in a position where this lineup can definitely compete for the World Series. It's just going to be a matter of unlocking the potential of the young players we already have, in my opinion. Um, yeah. Evel Jimenez ain't nothing special, but Ed Kirkpatrick can definitely make a return since he is so good at so many positions. I think adding him will be a nice improvement. Let us now go ahead and check on our coaching staff, and then we'll advance some time. And of course, set up our player development. Coaching staff is all set. All right. Practice room. I'll practice you. All right. Glenn Booz is gonna make the team. It's just a question of how important he'll be, but he's already got himself a chance to make the team. I'd like to see him improve a little bit his ability to keep the ball low, which I think is increasing pitch movement. Let's do that. Let's have you work on movement. Mike Lum just needs to work on everything, so let's have him start working on plate discipline. Never the wrong answer. You will never find yourself upset about a player that can't draw lots of walks. Plate discipline. Let's switch over to the active roster now, and I want to take a look at a few players. Jack Hyatt is in a position where I kind of have to give him a job. It's just a question of where he actually plays at this point. And I don't know. I don't know where that is. I think improving his ability to catch would be quite beneficial if I can control that. No, it looks like he wants to be a first baseman. Then go to work on your gap power. I think that makes sense. Um, Joe Moeller definitely needs to work on his secondary pitches. We definitely need him to improve his ability to strike people out. And then Kirkpatrick is the other guy I wanted to work on. Here we go. Ed Kirkpatrick. Work on plate discipline. I think we're having a very interesting problem where I don't really know who is the best fit at each position because we have so many really talented young guys that are just looking for an opportunity. And I can only hand out so many opportunities. There's a finite number of slots I can give anybody. Any gold gloves for the Tigers? Johnny Edwards got one, as did Ron Hansen. Nice. I feel like Johnny Edwards is the most likely person to be replaced by Jack Hyatt, but on the other hand, like, I don't know, man. He's real good. Reliever of the year, nobody there. So Repos is still being traded around. Which is pretty interesting. Silver Slugger for Ron Hansen and Jim Fregosi. Nice. Very nice. No Rookies of the Year this year. No Manager of the Year. Jim Fregosi won the MVP. That's actually kind of surprising to me. I think he deserves it. He was the best player in the league by WAR, but I'm actually kind of surprised. But he had a great season, and I'm really pleased that we acquired him when I was somewhat concerned. Damn, what happened to Mickey Mantle this year? Like, does he just suck now, or did he get hurt? Hmm. Yeah, he's not quite the same player he used to be. I mean, look, he's got comically amazing numbers at everything. And he's still only 32. So there's still a lot of chances for him to be increase his I'm the best baseball player that ever played baseball even further. He's just shy of where the real Mickey Mantle was at about 4 years younger. He's got 5 MVPs. Wild. All right. So there's a lot to like about this club. This is just going to be a matter of figuring out who fits where and where we what we can do to improve our upside. Um. All right. Let's zippity doo dah down to Hall of Fame voting. I can take a moment to get some water. Nice. Good job, Mel. I'll happily cast my ballot. Yogi Berra obviously deserves to make it in. I'll vote for Campanella. I'll vote for Edgar Chapman. I'm not going to vote for Harry the Cat because it's just a waste of time at this point, unless there isn't anybody better. I will vote for Sherm Lawler. Stam Usual obviously makes it. Like, that's not even a remote question. Billy Pierce, I'll vote for. Robin Roberts, I'll vote for. I'm going to keep trying for Jackie Robinson, although I think it's a bit of a lost cause now, and I'll also vote for Bobby Thompson. With only one spot left, I think it has to come down to somebody I think has a chance to get elected in someday, and that means Bob Rush, who at least has double-digit numbers. I mean, I guess I could vote for George Kell. Um, you know what? I do like George Kell a little bit better. Plus, he's already got 61% of the vote, which means there's a much higher probability that he'll actually make it in. I feel good about that. I mean, obviously, Musial's going to make it first ballot, and I'm pretty sure Yogi Berra will too. Beyond that, hard to say. I think there's several possibilities, but I think only those two are guaranteed to make it. I just genuinely don't know what we need. We have right now we have a problem, and the problem is we have too many good players at too few positions. Um, and that is our current most pressing issue. Second, third, and short are on lock. First base is a bit more problematic. Because we have two excellent candidates and one kid who's at least a decent candidate. Then again, Jack Hyde is also going to be Jack Hyde may very well be our everyday catcher. Um, I don't know. We'll have to think about it as time progresses. We'll have to strongly consider who the best fit is at that position. I don't know if like Hyde is a catcher for right now because that is the position he's going to play at least part of the year. Um, and we'll go from there. In the outfield, it seems like we probably need to give Kirkpatrick another try in spring training. Um, yeah, I don't know. We do need bullpen help. Our bullpen is quite old and doesn't have a ton of high quality arms in it. It's going to get a lot better when we add in Glenn Booth. We could also use a starting pitcher, so maybe this is our path. Would Joe Moeller stop fucking randomly shitting the bed in terms of his rating? Like, he lost a lot of velocity. That is deeply problematic. I think we do need a starting pitcher. Who is presently available on the starting pitching market? No, it is under GM manager actions. I know this shit. I've done this thousands of times. We also need to help make some money, but I just feel like Cal McClish is not the answer to any kind of question right now. I feel a little bit better about Larry Jackson. And he vetoes the trade. Well, fine then. I could probably get Vern Law for very little money. I just question whether he's actually all that good. Alright, let's get picky here. Alright, we're gonna trade. I need the players list. I want pitchers, all leagues, an overall of at least 50. And I do want somebody on the younger side. Although I know certain players are just not going to be possible for me. Oh, and I don't also want starting pitchers. I don't want relievers. There you go. You'd be pretty stupid to call up Tommy John. I mean, I can ask, but you're probably going to want something. Yeah, that's just not going to happen. Okay. I had to try. I had to try. John Bouchard isn't bad. He's just not that amazing, but he's a definite possibility. I'll come back to him. I hope we can do a little bit better than that, but he is young. He is talented. That may be the best I can do. I'd love to get Marcelino Lopez. I don't think it's going to happen. I think with the Cardinals only having two good starters, they're going to be a lot less likely to give me one of them. Okay. Gene Oliver's being remarkably consistent. I think this is a trade worth making. I really do believe that. I forgot Wade Wilbur too. Who's also going to be a better starter than I think he looks like right now. Yes. I will try to get a prospect if I can grab one, but I have a feeling they're not going to give me one. I just don't think there's that much interest in that. Robert Sloan isn't bad, actually. Robert Sloan is the kind of guy I could get behind. Oh, and today's also the draft. I forgot about that. I don't know how I forgot about the draft. I didn't even get a chance to see who the great players are. I mean, if you need a starting pitcher, and one is gift wrapped to you, two of them are in fact. Huh. Is there a reason not to take Ken Holtzman? Or is Catfish Hunter the better pitcher? I mean, they're both great pitchers. Let's do a comparison of them, because I'm taking one of these two guys without any hesitation. Compare. Holtzman has better stuff potential. Hunter has better control. He's also a lot better at preventing hits. Like, apart from strikeouts, Hunter is the better pitcher. Velocity, they're about the same. You have four pitches to Holtzman's three, although his changeup is better than any single pitch you've got. I think Catfish Hunter would fit in very nicely, so we're going to go ahead and draft him. I'm not even going to think about it, because I think he's that bloody good. Alright. Who else has already been taken? Steve Carlton, Rod Carew, Nolan Ryan. That's quite a top three. There's some really damn good players in this draft. Like, even picking where I did, there's still some damn fine players. So that's pretty exciting. All right. I will look at Ron Bryant. He's too fucking stupid. He's not a good risk. Billy Canigliaro is at least interesting and not too expensive. I can happily take that on. I will draft Jerry Robertson. I think he has the potential to be very useful to me. I'll only offer you your bonus domain. I'm also running really short on money. I have so many players, so many good positions. I just can't afford them. So I'm just gonna casually offer you 3 grand. And then Guy Rose is terrible. He's actually a decent outfielder. I'll pay $800 for that. I don't mind a single bit. And then I'll take Wayne Redmond for free. And we'll auto draft the rest of this. All right. I still want to make that trade if I can, mostly to save money. We might need to figure out if there's anybody else that we could send on their merry way to save a little bit of cash. Almost. You're not asking for a lot more, to be honest with you. Um, Pedro Ramos isn't that far removed from having a pretty good season. Pete Reichert is okay. He might have a good season in him yet. Pete Mickelson isn't going to keep a job anyway, so I'll go ahead and make this trade. Done. Who is presently making a lot of money? Because I need to start cutting expenses a little bit, especially if they don't deserve it. Mike Cuellar is pretty overpaid given his actual contributions to the team. I think he could probably do with a change of scenery anyway. Let's go ahead and try to trade him and see if anybody's interested in him. I mean, I will happily take Wade Blasingame without a second's hesitation. Yeah, just do it. Don't even like quasi think this one. Just do it. This gives us a very, very potent rotation. With really high quality guys in it. Like right now, our opening day rotation is probably Tion, Stottlemyre, Bergeron, Blasingame, and probably Wilbur Wood. Would be my guess. We need to get the bullpen upgraded. So I think that's our next adventure, is trying to find a way to improve our bullpen. So let's get after that. Very busy opening here, but I think this is worthwhile. We're just gonna change this around and go for relievers. Raymond Cuesta would be a fantastic addition to this club. I love big strikeout guys, and while he is somewhat limited, he's also fairly cheap. I think he would be a fantastic addition to this club. I'm gonna keep looking to see if anybody has like 2 or 3 greens, but no, we're gonna go for Mr. Cuesta here. Nobody. You love Cuesta so much you will never make this trade. Okay. What do I start with Johnny Edwards? Oh, that's your problem. You don't have enough money. Okay, never mind. Billy Baldwin is pretty good. There's a lot to like about him. Let's kick the tires on that. We're getting a ton of offers, which is exactly what you want to see. Um, I can't trade Johnny Edwards yet. Not when I'm not sure if Jack Hyatt can handle catching regularly. Yet. Who is the most expendable player on this roster? Ron Fairley. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to trade Ron Fairley. I could trade Tony Horton. Like, the thing is, as much as I enjoyed the draft, he's lost a lot of upside already. Like, he was going to be a great player one day. Now I think he's just going to be an okay one. And I think I'd rather have Billy Baldwin. Let's try to add in a prospect if we can get lucky, but if we don't, that's fine too. Ed Spezio wouldn't be terrible, but he's not the most thrilling prospect. I like Tito Fuentes. If he had any offensive skill behind maybe hitting for average. Eugene Zanata gives us another great live arm out of the bullpen, which is something we still need. And then, what if I asked for maybe Jerry Buchak? No. No, I'm happy with this deal. I know that the AI thinks we're making a mistake by giving up on Tony Horton so quickly. I think we have to do it. I think we have to. This completely helps us restock our bullpen. Billy Baldwin is amazing. The kid we just picked up is really good too. I mean, there's a lot to like about our bullpen. After a very, very short off season, I think we've got ourselves some pretty decent pitchers. Um, and I feel pretty good about that. Ed Kirkpatrick absolutely makes the roster. Glenn Booze absolutely makes the roster. The question is, I probably have too many starters now. I basically have 7 major league caliber starters, and I only have 5 slots. Trading a starter isn't the worst idea in history, but it has to be for something we actually need. And for right now, I don't know there's anything that's a clear need. I would like a center fielder. Actually, that is the one thing I would say that I would quite like to have as a new center fielder. Not anything against Albie Pearson, but he's already 30. And I need somebody who can handle center field in the event of a serious injury. Ed Kirkpatrick is not that guy. I mean, I guess he's kind of that guy. If Ed Kirkpatrick had to be a center fielder, I guess I wouldn't be too upset about that. But let's try to turn one of our starting pitchers into a center fielder. So we're gonna make a trade. We're gonna go to the players list here. Hitters, all leagues, center fielder, defensive at least 50, and I will settle for more potential with the center fielder. Let's say a potential at least 50. I'd love to acquire Jim Gosger. I think he'd be a fantastic addition. But he's probably going to command a hefty price. I think you're being greedy, hoarding 3 center fielders, but I get it. Paul Blair would be pretty great. I wonder if there's no. Yeah, the problem is a center fielder with this level of talent is somebody that teams just aren't going to part with very easily. I mean, if you don't want Johnny Briggs, I will happily take him, but you're not going to give him up for anything, I don't think. Yeah, these are just not something it's going to be easy to get unless I'm going to trade for an older player, but I'm not willing to do that right now. I'm just not. Okay, we tried. I think now we wait and we see what might be available closer to the start of the season. But I feel pretty good about this off season. I feel like we've really shored up the rotation, and that's not even counting Catfish Hunter, who's got a really good chance to make the opening day rotation. I'm gonna auto draft until my pick. I mean, Johnny Weekly is exactly what I was looking for. Like, quite literally, I wanted a veteran outfielder who could handle center field, and Johnny Weekly can do that. Done. Bucky Brandon is not terribly thrilling. I also don't really need pitching right now. I just don't have anybody that I look at here and get excited about. So yeah, I think we're good. I think that single draft pick was a pretty nice Rule 5 pick. And then we're just gonna zippity doodah. Oh, I didn't look at the draft class here. I have one guy who wants an impossible amount of money. You suck, dude. Fuck off. There's the amount of money you're going to receive. You suck. Fuck off. Bruce Hicks might be a slightly above average center fielder. The second reason, the problem is I don't have a lot of money, and I don't want to waste it on players like that when I might need an in-season upgrade from someone. Let's say Alex Torres is the first player to receive wear protective cup, and I'm like, I don't believe that for a second. Give me just 1 second, friends. All right. Who made the Hall of Fame? Baramugiel. I mean, that's what I expected. George Kell is getting ever closer. Yogi Berra got a higher percentage than Stan Musial did, which I find pretty surprising. And then the rest of these guys didn't make it. I mean, look, nothing against Bobby Doe as a human being. The only reason he made the real life Hall of Fame is because of his buddies with Ted Williams. Like the idea that Lou Whitaker isn't in the Hall of Fame, but Bobby Doer is just one of those things that's like, yeah, it's politics. Nothing against Bobby Doer. If you're a Red Sox fan and he was a big part of your childhood or just somebody you really enjoyed as a player, I'm not saying that to, insult him. I'm just saying those are the facts. A lot of players made the Hall of Fame because of politics, not so much because like who they knew. Um rather than who actually was a really great player that deserved the honor. But I mean, I guess that's true in pretty much every facet of life. So all right. There's some good hitters right there. Um, yeah. I kind of want to make sure that we do have Wilbur Wood on the roster, but to be honest with you, this is going to be an awfully challenging decision to make because we have so many good pitchers. Lou Brock. No. Mm-mm. I mean, I'm glad that Luke Brock enjoys chili dogs. You know what? Respect. I also enjoy chili dogs. But that's not enough for me. I have no desire to give up as much as you're asking for just a player that's not that great. He's not that great. I have Ed Kirkpatrick, who is more than willing to fill in at left field. I have other options, so thanks, but no thanks. You've cut my budget because you're a jerk. Duly noted. I agree with John Henry. I mean, look, I've had hundreds of videos about out of the park baseball over the years. I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that I enjoy the franchise. However, the fact that it just keeps getting better every single year is just mind blowing to me. Like, it's really, really impressive that it just keeps improving, and I'm excited to see where we go from here. Also, I don't appreciate Albie Pearson becoming a shitty center fielder all of a sudden. That is not on, guys. Mm, it might be Eddie Kirkpatrick. It might genuinely be Eddie Kirkpatrick playing center field because I think he's actually the best choice I have right now. Johnny Weakley's decent defensively, but he's certainly not a hitter. I think we trade Albie Pearson. No, we don't trade Albie Pearson, or do we? I mean, honestly, Byron Brown and Ed Kirkpatrick are better than Albie Pearson at this point. And the last thing he needs is a corner outfielder who's not very good at the corner outfield position. But I guess I could keep him as like a backup. But Johnny Weekly can do the same thing for a whole lot less money. I think we just trade Pearson and see what we come up with. Any greens? No greens? Okay. That's fair. I will take Mike Wagner. This isn't even yeah, I'm gonna take this deal. Easy. I'm sorry the fans are grumpy, but the fact is Albie Pearson is shadow as a shadow of his former self, and he's already on the wrong side of 30. So yeah, I mean, maybe with another team he bounces back, but our scouting director, who I trust, says he's lost a step in the outfield, and he is already a guy that's kind of on the fringes of being a worthwhile player. So, all right, Hunter, Byron Brown both make it. Lum is gonna get some opportunities. I think that's it for young players. All right, 6-man rotation, and we're gonna go ahead and let the AI set it up. Lineups, again, I'm gonna let the AI set it up. I do like the idea actually of Kirkpatrick being a leadoff guy. I think that's a role he might actually be able to fulfill pretty successfully. Benching Johnny Edwards is interesting, but I don't disagree with it, and I do think Jack Hyatt provides a much superior bat than Edwards does. I'm concerned that Edwards is going to start getting cranky about wanting to play for somewhere else, but let's face it, he's been a solid catcher, but he hasn't been anything special. Not in the way that Jack Hyatt might be, just because of his offensive capabilities. So we're going to go ahead and go through string training now. A personal message. Glenn Booz got significantly better. Mike Lum did not. Richie Scheinblum got better. Jack Hyatt got better. And Ed Kirkpatrick got a lot better. Which is fantastic, really. It's excellent news. Um, I don't think we're as bad as our record looks in spring training. I genuinely don't think we're that bad. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Player development. Wilbur Wood improved a lot as a pitcher, even if he's losing velocity, which I'm fine with. Tiant got a smidgen worse. Stottlemyre got a smidgen better. Moeller just got a lot better. Catfish Hunter is getting better. Glenn Booz got better. Wade Blasingame got worse. Johnny Edwards got worse. Pete Ward got a little bit worse. Ed Kirkpatrick got a lot better. Bob Schroeder got better. I mean, he's still not good, but he is better, and that's worth something. Salvador Sanchez got better. Guy Rose got better. So a lot of people got better, which is good to see. Let's simulate up to April 9th, and then we'll make some decisions here. Hey, I have no problems whatsoever about Willie Mays missing the first month of the season. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not in the National League anymore. I don't really care then. All right. I have 22 pitchers. I can tell you somebody's going to be gone immediately. So long, Benny Daniels. A Catfish Hunter goes right to the minor leagues. Um, I have enough top tier talent in the rotation that I think letting him go to the minors is the right call. Um, Schwartzfeger goes to the minors. Sonata goes to the minors. Sloan to the minors. Newman to the minors. I still got to get rid of at least 3 more pitchers, maybe 4. Bennett to the minors. I think Blasingame to the minors because he doesn't do anything particularly well. And I'd like to see him get some experience at AAA and see if he can't recover some of his former potential. At least two more pitchers have to go. They have to go. Ray Washburn, I think, can go to the minors. And last but certainly not least, Barney Schultz is still a really good pitcher. I know his overall is only a 45, but his actual skills are very, very high. I think he's an incredibly important piece of this bullpen, and I want to keep him around until he just completely shits the bed. I'm gonna make Wilbur Wood our ace just because I trust him more than anyone else. But I think the rest of this rotation seems to settle out pretty nicely. With Stottlemyre filling in again as our number 5 starter. I think Pedro Ramos. Oh, Glenn Booz struggled, but I. How much have you pitched at AAA, Glenn? Quite a bit. Yeah, I think we keep you. I think Billy Baldwin is worth keeping as well, just because of his pure heat. Maybe I just carry 13 pitchers. And I'm fine with this as it's set up right now. I'm not worried about it at all. I think this is a perfectly reasonable way to divide up um our deal. My only concern is I think I want Pete Reichert to be our lefty killer. Potentially. But I can just leave it alone, I guess. Okay, getting rid of 4 position players. Am I getting rid of only 4? Don't need to get rid of 5? Oh, you know what? I bet somebody this is both a position player and a pitcher. Okay, am I brain damaged? Okay. Oh, right. You can only have 25. I've got to have one less pitcher. I need the position players. If you only have 25 players, 13 pitchers is a lot. And I think that means because that doesn't risk us anything, I think we either send Billy Baldwin to the minors or we trade Barney Schultz. And I think Barney Schultz is just too useful right now, so I think Billy Baldwin goes to the minors. And that is our opening day pitching staff, which is quite formidable in the best of ways. Okay. Lineup time. Um, Sandy Alomar goes to the minors, I think. I think if he can keep working on his defense, he's got a chance to break the roster again. But I think for right now, he goes to the minor leagues. Ethan Blackaby sucks. Charlie James sucks. Elvio Martinez sucks. And Byron Brown makes the roster. I think the lineups are fine as they are. The only thing I might do is put Ed Kirkpatrick in center field, but Johnny Weekly can handle it for now, and then we can try to look for a center fielder as the season progresses. He is from Waterproof, Louisiana, which is funny. Yeah, I feel perfectly cromulent with this particular lineup and the way it's set up. I think Jack Hyatt could bat even higher in the order, but I don't want to put too much pressure on him when he doesn't have a ton of experience in the majors yet. I want him to really feel comfortable before I really start pushing him harder. I think it's great that Johnny Edwards is going to be our backup. We've got a lot of people switching around, which is good. Oh, Mike Lum gets to make the opening day roster. I'm perfectly fine with that. Perfectly fine with that. Okay, friends, let's get to some baseball then. I mean, I don't think Jim Fregosi is going to win another MVP, so we're going to have to count on the rest of the team to step up because, yeah, We genuinely did lose some useful contributors and the guys of what's his face? Gene Oliver. Like Gene Oliver is a good baseball player. But I needed to keep the rotation up to where it needed to be, even though like Boujart's already lost some of his talent. So, hmm, he's already shortlisted. No, he's not. So it might be a trade I end up regretting in the not too distant future. Because Gene Oliver is a pretty talented player. But I just needed to make some room, save some money, and give some other players a chance to show what they could do. I'm just gonna take a quick pause, look through the rotation, and make sure that I have added everyone to the 40-man that needs to be added. Yes. Okay, let's play ball. As predicted, both Benny Daniels and Jack Newman easily cleared waivers, as I suspected they would. And let's just sim on down to the beginning of June. Or May. That's the month that's what it's called. That's the month that comes after it. Good work for Jerry Robertson, actually. Adding another pitch is going to make him a lot higher likelihood of making the majors someday. Mike Wagner got better. Bob Bost got better. Good old Bob. Any wild news here? Not really. Oh, Louis Tiant threw a shutout. Nice. Minnie Minoso is finally going to retire. Is this Minnie Minoso going to make the Hall of Fame? He might. I mean, he should have made it in the real major leagues faster than he did, but he got there eventually. It's a 10-0 victory thanks to John Bujart. Nice. Just checking on the news. Anything else crazy happening here? Jesus Alou got 5 hits. Nice for him. 300 romer. Another shutout for Louis Tiant. Does he have 3 shutouts already? I think he does. I think of his. I think he's got at least 3 shutouts. Oh, he's got 2. Okay. What a loser. I'm joking. I'm joking. Don't get mad at me, Louis. You're the best. Throw to home runs for Orlando Cepeda. Very nice. Carl Yastrzemski was the best hitter in the fucking Yankees, man. Just keep printing out hitters. It's hard to keep pace with them. Tiant starter. And there you go. Nice. Not going to look at any stats yet. We're just going to go right into June because we don't have enough information to make any informed decisions yet. That is one of the injuries I don't really have a good answer for. I mean, I guess I do. It's Billy Baldwin. Who's the new setup guy? I mean, I guess we could give it to Barney Schultz, maybe, or Pedro Ramos. Or just make them all middle relievers and let the chips fall where they may. Hmm. We're a little reliant on Stu Miller. That does cause me some concern, especially since last year he wasn't very good. He's definitely bounced back this year, but that is a concern for certain. You know, interesting news. 2,000 hits for Ernie Banks. Lovely. Glad to see it. Wilbur Wood got a shutout. See, you gotta trust in Wilbur. And then we got shut out. Lame. Lame. Okay, apparently this is when all of the pitchers got hurt. I really don't want to rush Catfish Hunter. I really don't. I think Ray Washburn gets to come back in reliever form. I think that's the right decision. Yeah. If I'm bringing Hunter up to the majors, it's so that he can be an everyday starter. That's just how I feel about it. What really sucks for these guys is these are players that are already fairly old, which means their hold on the roster is tenuous anyway. So this is not really the time to be, shitting the bed, relatively speaking. Hmm. Wood got a tiny bit worse. Lee Tiant got a tiny bit better. Ken Harrelson got a little bit better. Kirkpatrick got a little bit better. Sonata got a fair bit better. Hunter's improving, which is good to see. Although he's losing control, which I don't like. There we go. We're seeing some good stuff happening. I'm on board with that. Norm Cash. Gordy Coleman, one player of the week. Good for him. Al Kaline got 2,000 hits. Yeah. Okay. All right, what are we looking at here? We're looking at a lineup that is somehow first in runs scored, even though as a team we're not doing so great. Um, hmm. We're pretty much where we want to be right now. Like in terms of overall talent level, we're right about where we'd like to be. I think we did make some lineup changes for sure, because most of the top part of the lineup is struggling pretty badly. I think they will get better as they get more practice. I just think they're off to that thing is just a cold start to the season. Because even guys like Ron Fairley, who've always been pretty consistent hitters, are not hitting well. Um, I mean, thank goodness for Ken Harrelson hitting 7 home runs, because right now we don't have a real big power threat. We just don't. I think we're just off to a cold start, which is actually good news for us and bad news for our opponents, because we will heat up as the season progresses. And that could be a pretty big thing. I mean, Johnny Weekly is on my idea of a starting center fielder. I think we probably need to do something about that. I just don't know what. I don't know where we find a center fielder that's worthy of a contending team right now. I can check the trade block for sure. Center field, please. There just aren't any good ones. Like Jim Pearsall is fine. I'm not saying I wouldn't like to have him as like a backup, but I wouldn't spend a lot of money on him. Because I really think Mike Lund would be better off in the minor leagues since he hasn't really played above Double A before. Let's actually try to grab Jim Pearsall as a veteran center field option. Really, fuckhead? Well, go to hell then. Lee May can't play center. Al Spangler can't play center. Okay. Fine, be that way. I don't really have an option then. I don't think. I don't think. Um, I just feel like I need a veteran outfielder because I don't think, you know what? I want Mike Lund playing in AAA at this point. I think we're hurting his development by playing him in such an important position. Um, let's do a trade for any outfielder. Really? It's just the same three? Hmm. I'm not even looking for like an especially talented player. I just want like a decent outfielder in case of injury. I don't care about defense, but I do want you to play one of the outfield positions. You know what, Marty Keogh? I will happily sign you for $17,000. Because I just think we're hurting Mike Lum right now by having Mike Lum be in the major leagues when he could be learning in the minors. All right. Lum, get to the minors. You get to the majors. You're basically Byron Brown, but again. But I'm fine with that. Let's go to all players and let's regenerate depth charts here. I don't want Johnny Edwards playing that much. I truly don't. Not when Jack Hyde is one of our best players. Yeah, you will be playing when the starter is tired and not before. Johnny Edwards is probably the most fungible asset that we have right now. My only concern is I don't really have another catcher, but we have Eloy Gutierrez, who wouldn't be a terrible backup catcher. I just feel like Johnny Edwards is the one player on this team that people might get excited about. You know what? Let's just for the lulz. Let me kick the tires on trading him. Let me ask for a center fielder at any position of any level here, rather. Yeah, Floyd Robinson is nothing to write home about. Bob Chance isn't very good. Jose Tartabull is fine, I guess, but he's also quite limited. Um, like his only offensive skill is not striking out, and that doesn't bode well for a lengthy major league career. Edward Gasky is quite good. He would be a pretty nice addition to this roster, I think. I know his offensive skill set isn't terribly exciting, but I think he's in the driver's seat right now as far as adding people to this club. Our old friend Jim Landis could make a return, but I don't think he's all that great. I think it's Gasky. I truly think it's Gasky. I think Gasky offers the best combination of defense and offense. Yeah, I think we do it. I think we do it right now, and then we can go ahead and offer. I wonder if we'd be willing to part with another prospect potentially, like a Jim Palmer. I'm not giving you Jim Fergusi for Jim Palmer, although that is surprisingly tempting. How about good old Frankie boy here? Okay, I can get Frank Bertain. Like it. Do you have a veteran catcher you'd be willing to part with? Yeah, I wonder if you'd be willing to part Dick Bertel. I'm giving you a better, younger catcher. I just want somebody who can prove to be a real mentor for Hyatt. You're not asking for a whole lot more. So I'm willing to discuss further with you. You want fucking Ramon Montoya? You can have him. All right. So first things first. I'm going to send Johnny Weekly to the no. I'm going to send Byron Brown to the minor leagues. I'm going to activate Gacy and Bertel. Bertel's going to be your. Actually, I think we play Gacy over Weekly. Yeah, I think we do. So you're gonna slide in here and play center. I'm gonna set you as center fielder too, so I don't get confused. And then we're gonna do a depth chart here, and that is not happening. But all the rest of this I'm fine with. And then we're gonna copy the depth chart and we're gonna paste it over here. There we go. Nice. I'm not saying that Gacy is by any means like a flawless center fielder, but he's really good defensively, and I think that'll carry him, even if his bat isn't anything terribly exciting. Um, so let's go ahead now and advance time a little bit. I feel like we've improved our team, in a very real sense. And part of it too is just we just need our hitters to hit the way they should be hitting, and it seems like that's starting to happen. We're starting to get the hits when we need them, which is really important. All right. Let's scroll down here. Any cool shit here? Hank Aaron pounds your mom. I mean, pounds 400 home runs. Nice. Very good. Our Hank Aaron's awfully good. He's not quite as good as the real Hank Aaron, who played till he was 42, but he's right on that path. He's a real good baseball player, is Hank Aaron. I know it's a hot take, but I'm comfortable saying it. Man, Louis Tiant has pitched out of his fucking mind this year. He's been incredible. Not Russ Snyder. Wilbur Wood getting it done. I knew he would. I knew he would. You know what? Frank Thomas has been a really interesting player for us. And I think he's had himself quite a career. Um, it's maybe ending a bit earlier than he'd want it to, but he has been a useful player in several different places here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to feel ashamed about. Mark Gallego got 5 hits. I'm not going to look at the voting. I don't care yet. 250 wins for Kurt Simmons. Seems pretty likely he'll make the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's already better than the real life Kurt Simmons, so he's got that going for him. But he's definitely not as good as he used to be, so I wouldn't be surprised if he retires quite soon. But he's had himself a pretty good career. Not seeing any really good offensive emails about our team, which is somewhat concerning. Juan Marichal got starter of the month. I mean, I think it should have been Tiant, but that's okay. Don Sutton. Don Mincher is still plugging away in the minor leagues. Good for him, man. Good for him. He's just such an all or nothing kind of player that only certain teams can have the patience that they need to have to let him cook. And that was just never me. It was just never going to be me. But I'm sure someday he will find himself in a really great position. As I expected, as our bats getting better, they're getting a little bit better. Okay. We're gonna swap Ward and Hyatt in the lineup. Hyatt has just been the superior hitter. He gets on base at a really great clip, and I think he needs to be in more positions where scoring position is relevant. I think that's important. I need a new leadoff guy. I think Ed Kirkpatrick is over his head. Like, really over his head. He's a good player. He's playing well, but he is not a leadoff guy. Fairly is fine. Oh god, I don't think I have a leadoff guy. Yikes. This may be a fire the hitting coach situation here. Because, yeah, we are bad at getting on base, and we're hardly ever making contact. Maybe this is just one of those years where it's hard to manage that, and we're still winning lots of games, so I'm not that annoyed by it, but I am concerned. I am deeply concerned. So hopefully we're able to start figuring this shit out. Ed Kirkpatrick also has 7 home runs, which is also pretty important. I guess I could swap Fairley and Kirkpatrick, I guess. Maybe let Kirkpatrick hit more with somebody on base. I guess this feels like a non-solution, but it's the best one I've got right now. Until the hitting just turns on here. Gosh, as for All-Stars, I don't know, man. I do want to keep a lot of our coaches. We have a really good. Oh, I guess we don't really worry about chemistry, do we? Let me go personnel. I think Red Ruffing is a really good bench coach, and we're gonna keep him around. Reggie Mapp has developed so many high caliber pitchers. I want to keep him around a while longer. And then Horner and Millard can both get new contracts. And Millard. All right. Yeah, the thing is, we're just not hitting consistently. And we're running out of time a little bit. To really start letting our lineup take over, I'm really hopeful that this All-Star break will be good for us. All right. So we're in first place of the All-Star break. It's hard to feel bad about that. Louis Tiant, Jack Hyatt, Jim Fregosi, and that's it. And honestly, although you could argue that say like Wilbur Wood or another one of our pitchers deserve to make it, I think those are the only hitters that deserve to make it, or Hyatt and Fregosi. Oh, and Harrelson made it too. I didn't even notice that. Nice. Who's been our best pitcher this year? Probably Tiant. You could make a case for pretty much any of my starters, including Joe Moeller, but only one made the All-Star team, which is fine. I don't mind. Chad does have this really sexy ERA, which is going to make him look really, really good to the voters, so I'm okay with that. The hitters got to heat up. That's going to be the key to us continuing to be. Okay, Barney Schultz is going to retire, which is actually completely fine with me. Completely and utterly fine. Okay, I just saw an important message here. Louis Tiant, you are way too important to this team. You're going on the IL, and I'll call up Catfish Hunter. I'd rather drop a couple of games and let Catfish Hunter get a chance to pitch and let you recover. because I cannot have you get seriously injured. I cannot take that risk. You're far too important to this team as a whole. So we'll keep the lights on for you while you work on it. All right. Is there anything I want to accomplish in this trade deadline? It's hard to say genuinely. Like, a top tier left fielder would be nice so we can let Kirkpatrick keep developing in the minor leagues. But this is the same guy that just obliterated AAA pitching last year. I don't know that he has a lot left to learn in the minors. I need my hitters to hit better. That's what I need. I need the guys that I already know can be top contributors to start acting like top contributors. Ron Fairley is rapidly running out of room to be considered a top tier player. Um, Frugosi's good. Harrelson's good. Hyde is good. Pete Ward is whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Mm, mm. I think the right kind of bat could really revitalize this lineup. So let's take a quick look at. We're going to start the trade deadline, obviously. Who is being offered? Gordy Coleman is not of interest to me. I don't need a first baseman. Fred Valentine is just an uninteresting reserve. I mean, I wouldn't say no to Felipe Alou. I would not say no to that at all. What would it cost me? Too much. Too much. And I'm not going to give you Kirkpatrick for him either. Yeah, I don't think Alou is the right call. I'm not willing to give up this level here. I mean, sure, you could argue, what about trading Mike Lum? The thing is, Mike Lum might be as good as Alou when he's had a chance to fully develop. So I don't want. It's not that important to me to sacrifice our future or our present like that. Yeah, Roger Maris and Daddy Leon Wagner, neither one of them really. I mean, they're both good players. I just don't see how they would fit in this lineup right now. I'd almost rather just keep Kirkpatrick and let him keep working it out. Are you still wanting like the fucking mood for Claude Lazat? No, you're not. Okay. This is something I am far more willing to consider because I think giving ourselves a big advantage in the bullpen might actually help us win the World Series if we make it there. If you want Bob Schroeder, the shortstop who can't shortstop, I am happy for this. Let's do it. And now, who's our weakest reliever? It's Earl Wilson, actually, which doesn't surprise me. Earl, my boy, we're gonna go ahead and waive you and see if anybody else wants to take you on. Because now what we have is a dominating setup guy, which is something we've needed for a long time. Go ahead and come on in the 6th inning if you need to. But that's going to be your role for now until Stu Miller gets ready to retire, and then you're going to take over from Stu Miller, and you're also a closer as a backup role. That is a big time move. That really takes what was already pretty good for us and makes it into a real top tier strength, which is very very good, very very good. Is there anything else that I want? I wouldn't mind an upgrade at the lineup or third base, but I just don't think that's being offered right now. I think Edward Gacy is acceptable as a center fielder for the short term here. I do need a new center fielder. I need a new everyday center fielder. That is a true statement. Is there any being? It's Alu. Mm-mm. If Alu gets us a fucking world championship, I guess I can't argue too much with that. But I just don't like the idea of trading Mike Lum for him. Even though I think he'd have an impact on the club, I don't like his offensive skill set. It concerns me. Although he does have the track record. What if I offered Richie Scheinblum? I get you closer. What if I offered Robert Sloan? Yeah, I'm just not prepared to give you an actually good player for this. I'm just not. So even if it gives us a weakness in center field, that's just what we're dealing with then. I'll quickly keep checking though to see if there's any other center field prospects here. I would like to have Jim Pearsall, but you just keep vetoing the trade. Ed Boucher's an okay hitter, but he's not a very good center fielder, which makes him a poor fit. It says Roger Maris can like casually play center field, or Leon Wagner can. No, neither one of them can. Skinner. Bill Verdon can play center field. I mean, Hubs is the obvious choice to trade, right? Or maybe no, we'll trade Scheinblum. I just don't think Scheinblum could be a center fielder one day though, but I don't think that's enough. I think this is the right decision. And then immediately, I think we return Johnny Weekly to his home team. Yeah. I think Johnny Weekly's done very, very well for us in his playing time, but I think we'd be better off with Bill Verdon as our reserve outfielder. The question is whether he starts in center field, and I think Gacy can keep that job for right now. No, he can't. He's hitting too poorly. Here we go. Set position, center field. Bill Verdon, get in there. And then let's generate a new depth chart here. No, and no. We could use a really useful bench bat, actually. Because Marty Keogh has not accomplished anything of note. A pretty talented, um, a pretty talented dude off the bench would actually be pretty useful. Leon Wagner can't play the outfield, unfortunately. Not very well, anyway. I also don't want to spend too much on this. I am looking for a veteran bat, but not so much to the point where I'm willing to spend a lot of money on it or a lot of talent on it. Fred Valentine would low key be a pretty good bench bat, especially over Marty Keogh. Has been a bit of a disappointment. Chris Taylor is not a catcher. What he is a corner outfielder who can get on base. That has value. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it has that much value to me. And I want to keep Sandy Alomar as he keeps working on his defensive prowess because we might need him someday. So yeah, you can have Chris Taylor. Any interesting prospects that you have by chance? I mean, I wouldn't say no to Dave Wisman if you're willing to trade him. He's got some pretty good chops at a bunch of different positions. It's nice to have a player like that on your team. What about Fermin Cruz? Yeah, we'll do that too. I do like Dick Bertel. I don't want to give him up. I think he's a really good backup catcher. And Robert Sloan's also a really good center fielder, shockingly. I think we just take what we've already got. I don't think we get greedy and we just make this trade. Done. And now Fred Valentine gets to take over as our primary bench bat. I could start him over Kirkpatrick. I still value Kirkpatrick's on base skills a little bit too much for that. But he can definitely get himself some playing time. I'm pretty pleased. I don't think there's anything else I really want from this trade block list. I think we've got what we wanted. I think this is good. This is real good. That was the right decision. I think none of these were big names except for Claude Lazat, but I think they were the right names. I think we've made ourselves a better team that's getting more competitive as the year continues to develop. And I think we're going to see some really positive results um, from these moves. I hope. But that's heresy. Um, yeah, everybody loves Frank Robinson. It's hard not to love Frank Robinson. He's pretty great. That was a lot of trades actually that we made. I'm gonna go ahead and shortlist Carl Taylor. I do want to see how he develops over the course of his career, but let's go to roster expansion. Okay, we can get Pedro Ramos back. Do I want him back? Not particularly. I'm willing to put him back on the roster when rosters expand. Let's go ahead and have him rehab. Earl Wilson cleared waivers. I suspected he would. Done. Okay, that kind of sucks that our big trade deadline thing just got injured. That's not very nice of you. We're gonna bring Louis Tiant back, but I'm not gonna keep Catfish Hunter in the majors. I'm gonna send him back to the minors. I just think it's more useful to have him keep pitching every single day and let our amazing Louis Tiant return. And then as far as relievers are concerned, I guess Pedro Ramos gets to come back. Even though I didn't really want him back, but here we go. He can be a middle reliever. That really sucks. That our number one 2500 for Mickey Mouse is ridiculous. Losing him sucks a lot. Like that's counting that being like our secret weapon, if and when we made the postseason. But evidently, we can't have nice things. That's whatever, man. We just got to keep stringing wins together. That's all we can do at this point. Roy Face, getting him back is useful. I'm gonna let him rehab because it's only gonna be for one day, and then I don't have to worry about sending anybody down. Okay, it's actually gonna be 2 days. I lied to you. Let's see here. Roy McMillan's gonna retire. I remember drafting him. Well, I didn't draft him. I don't remember why I remember his name. He's had himself a really good career. The real life Roy McMillan was kind of an afterthought, but this Roy McMillan's actually pretty decent. I mean, he's nowhere near Hall of Fame level, but he's a career you can be proud of. Hoy Wilhelm is finally going to retire. He's had himself quite a career as well. Sandy Koufax is good at pitching. News at 11. Um, Richie Ashburn is going to retire. How did he do in this version of it? Because in real life, he got 2,500 hits. He was slightly better. I don't know if he's going to make the Hall of Fame or not. Richie Ashburn's problem in his career is he didn't hit for very much power, which makes it hard for a lot of people to want to vote for him. Not CB Behringer. I don't know who the fuck that even is, but he's retiring. He's definitely been one of the pitchers of all time, that's for sure. Otherwise, that's breaking news. A guy who was basically useless. Um, goes to the Hall of Fame. Like, okay, fine. Oh, did I already bring what's his face back? I don't think that I did. I did not. There you go. You're just gonna be middle reliever. Just helps lengthen the bullpen a little bit so that nobody is in uh too much of a hassle. Let's keep going. Can we just like start cramming all the steroids into Claude Lazat so that we can have him get healthy? That would be lovely. I don't like how close this race is. We had quite a lead at one point, and we're starting to slip a little bit. As long as we keep winning, we control our own fate. But I am deeply concerned, and I would love for us to get like a 4 or 5 game lead here, if I could ask for that. Or fall back a half a game because fucking Kansas City is a piece of shit. Come on, Kansas City, let us fucking have this. I mean, 15-0 feels good, but it's not going to be enough if we can't just continually put pressure on this race. Oh my god, stop. Okay. I think there needs to be a change to the algorithm here where you stop stopping the sim because a minor leaguer who never played in the major leagues retires. Like, nobody cares. Genuinely, nobody cares. Damn, the Reds had an amazing season this year. Holy shit, they were good. All right. We've got to make it happen, but I don't think we can. I think losing that single game. Fuck you, Kansas City. Your ridiculous 10-win streak is what got you the fucking postseason. You didn't deserve it. I was the better team all year long, but what the fuck ever, man. You suck, guys. You fucking suck. Kansas City has had so many postseason appearances, they could have fucking backed off. I am very salty. You got hot at the right fucking time. You got hot at the perfect time. Your 10 wins in a row are what got you into the postseason, even though I don't think you deserved it. You suck, man. Mm. I don't give a flying fuck. We were the best team in the American League this year. I don't care if Philadelphia managed to sneak in at the end there. We were better. We were better. Um, yeah. I wonder how we did against Kansas City this year. Were we good? I mean, we did come up short against Detroit, like or Kansas City. Like winning two of those games would have made a difference too. But this is the first time I'm actually genuinely upset because I think we were the best team in the American League, and in a normal fucking year, mm, fuck you, Kansas City, fuck you forever. I hope Cincinnati obliterates you, which they did. Good. Go home and think about what you did, jerks. Mm. I am salty. I won't apologize for it. I think this was our year. And look, we definitely were very, very cold to start the year. I think that's probably one of the things that also hurt us is just the fact that we just weren't hitting at the beginning of the year. But this was our year. And for Kansas City just rattle off this ridiculous 10-game winning streak, which I could never have competed with. You probably did against like shitty teams too. I am displeased. Jim Fregosi is the second best player in the American League this year, so clearly it wasn't his fault. I think we had a great deadline, and I think Claude Lazat stayed healthy. It doesn't take much for us to win two more games. It doesn't take much. So, mm, mm, mm. Don Mincher was the International League MVP this year. Oh, we have a new owner, Antonio Napoles. And Barney Schultz and Roy Face are both retiring. That's fine. I'm not that surprised. I'm not that surprised. Hmm. He is demanding, but he likes getting involved in shit a lot. So, okay. Okay. How did the season go this year? Who were our big stars and who fell short? Jim Fregosi was fantastic. I know he wasn't as good as he was last year, but he was still awfully good. Awfully good. And has a decent chance to possibly take home another MVP award. I gave a lot of attention to a player for the first time at a new position, and damned if he didn't come through. Jack Hyatt was so good from the beginning of the year to the end of the year that he was a real heartbeat of this club. Fantastic year for Jack Hyatt. Ed Kirkpatrick was given the ball and he kind of waddled with it. He didn't really run with it. There's a lot to like about his skill set, but he has to get better. He has to get better at making contact. A 224 batting average is not going to get it done, no matter how good you are defensively and how good you are at drawing walks. This is not an acceptable batting average. This has to get better. It has to. I mean, Ron Hance was never going to have a year like 1964 again, but what he was a reasonably good bat and a great glove. And that's what you're looking for. Ken Harrelson put together another great year. There's still more here. There's still more here. But I think he's getting better each year, and at least he's a good enough first baseman for my tastes. Pete Ward had a significantly worse year. This is something that has to change. A lot is riding on him being one of our better players, and he just wasn't this year. A 238 batting average is not going to cut the mustard for a guy who had the worst offensive year of his career, where he played the full season. This has to get better, and I think it will get better next year. Bill Verdon had a pretty decent season toward the end there, and then of course Ron Fairley is the other big disappointment. If we're gonna make the postseason, we need our great players to be great players, and that means Ron Fairley needs to get on base, and he needs to hit for a little bit more power. Yeah, we got some decent performances from guys off the bench, and then there was Dick Pertel, who's really just here to be a good mentor. But he probably won't stick around for too terribly much longer. Our pitching was great. Joe Moeller really got sold short, given how good he actually was. Yeah, he's had a fantastic season, and I think at least earned himself the consideration of being a permanent starter. I know he's never going to look great because his strikeout numbers are never going to be fantastic, but it's all about that strikeout to walk ratio. As long as he's striking out a lot more guys than he's walking, I'm comfortable with that. Wilbur Wood, fantastic season. He just keeps doing two things very well. He doesn't give up very many walks, and he throws lots and lots of innings because he's got this incredible knuckleball. Um, and he strikes out a surprising number of people. Wilbur Wood has been everything I've wanted in a starting pitcher. I wish his ERA was a little bit better, but it's kind of out of his control. Um, Louis Tiant had a wonderful season. This is not going to happen again, but I will still take it. And even John Bursart, the guy that we traded Gene Oliver for, actually had a pretty good season as well. Really proud of all of my starting pitchers, who all pitched the entire season. Nobody got hurt, which is nice. Well, I know Tiant missed a couple starts, but nothing too serious. How did Gene Oliver manage this season? Pretty well. I mean, I could have used a bat like that in the lineup potentially, but he's also lost all ability to play the outfield. So I think I made the right decision to get rid of him when I did. Um, Stu Miller was great. The rest of it, Pedro Ramos was fucking terrible. 7 home runs in 14 innings is not a good thing. I still think we need to continue improving the bullpen. I think Glenn Booz did a pretty decent job. His WAR doesn't look great, but I think he is on the right path. And if we can get these walks to drop and the homers to drop, I think he's going to be a solid pitcher. For sure. I'm proud of this team. It is not their fault that they fell short at the very, very end there. I think this is very much where we could have won the pennant, if not for Kansas City's historic 10-game winning streak. That's difficult to fight with, in my opinion. So, what do we do with Ed Kirkpatrick? Did you made him a right fielder for no reason? He's a left fielder, please. Thank you. Um, Thoughts for next year? We've got to get more production out of Ed Kirkpatrick, Ron Hansen. Sorry, not Ron Hansen. Ed Kirkpatrick, Pete Ward, and especially Ron Fairley. Or we need to find replacements for Ron Fairley. Or we need to find a replacement for Ron Fairley. I could fire my hitting coach, but the fact is some players did hit quite well. I just need more. We need another power bat if we can get one, but we really need to get the batting average problem fixed. For our best players, they need to hit more consistently. Is Bill Verdon our opening day center fielder? He might be. It's just really going to depend on how things shake out in spring training. But, my friends, that's it for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know how you think the season went and what could have gone better. And until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.